3, 2, 1. What's going on, guys? This is Breaking Brews, episode 6. I'm your host, Michew 2.
And I'm your co-host, Lauren Olivia.
And this is Breaking Brews. You know, it's always better a second time, you know? Second time's they say first is the worst, second is the best. This week we're doing a mini episode here just because we are a little short for time. I am always late, you know. It's so funny. In every other aspect of my life, I'm always early, except for the podcast. This week, we are going to be, as you can tell, obviously, we are not in St. Pete. We sadly could not go out there. I didn't want to put the pressure on Mad Hatters just because they hadn't got their power back till Thursday, and we were supposed to go out Friday. So I wasn't going to put that kind of pressure on them. But we are still going to work with them, as well as today, I actually spoke with 3 kava bars that we're going to be going out to and shooting some episodes here before the year is up. So I'm really excited. A lot of great drinks throughout the county, a lot of great drinks even outside of our own county and our own community that I'm excited for. But yeah, so this week we are going to be, instead of interviewing Richie, we ended up doing that last episode because I kind of had a feeling something was going to go on. But this week we're actually going to be interviewing my band, NiceToMichew, where the Michew 2 comes from. And we're going to get to know each and every one in the band. So I'm really excited about that. But this week, we're going to get right into it. We're not going to waste any time. Every single week, we start out. The first round is always a round we like to call, and a segment we like to call This or That, where we break down the barrier between podcasters and audience. And we make this more like a people's podcast. That's what I always call it. Every single episode. I consider this a people's podcast. We just happen to be the best hosts in it. But this week, we are really excited because we got some really fun topics to talk about. We are going to be talking about which do we like better, animated sitcoms or live-action sitcoms. So now, what I would consider an animated show would be things like South Park, Family Guy, Bob's Burgers, stuff in that realm where it's like, you know, Fox Animation or whatever Futurama is. Because I know Futurama's not Fox anymore. It's whatever, I think it might be NBC.
I'm not sure, to be honest.
But then also the difference is for sitcoms, what I'd kind of think is like Seinfeld, Friends, The Office, Parks and Rec, you know, stuff like that. So that's going to be the deciding factor of which we like best. So, Lauren, I'll let you go ahead and go first.
Okay.
If you had to choose one or the other, which would you choose?
Honestly, I love the animated shows. I'm not huge into animation, but I do love South Park.
Yeah.
I love it
so much. There's just something so, like...
It's just funny.
They get away with so much, but here's the thing is, like, honestly, like, I've watched so much, it's kind of funny. I follow, like, about 5 or 6 different YouTube channels that talk specifically about how influential and how important South Park is to, like, the culture, like, counterculture, and how, like, they don't target one specific group of people.
They target
everybody.
Yeah.
Nobody's safe.
I just like dark humor, honestly.
Dude, there's nothing better than dark humor, because here's the thing is, if you can laugh at dark stuff, it doesn't lessen the effect of certain things, but, you know, it makes it easier to help either make that topic, like whatever the controversy is of the week for the episode, it makes it easier to talk about.
It in a way.
Not lightens it in a negative way, but it makes it easier to talk about.
Yeah.
Some people don't feel comfortable, you know, sometimes taking a stance without there being that, oh, I'm not alone here. I can talk about this.
I think the world is just so serious. We just need to get a good laugh about things every now and then.
I tend to lean more towards sitcoms. As much as I do love my adult animated shows, I mean, I've watched the entire series of The Office probably 30 times through.
Oh my gosh, I've never seen The Office.
What? Okay.
Yeah.
When I know about it. When I was in the hospital for my car accident, I was there for a long time. I was able to watch the entire series. They pretty much air it in chronological order on Comedy Central every weekday from 5 a.m. to 12 a.m. pretty much.
Wait a minute. Have you ever seen Gossip Girl?
I have. But that's not a sitcom. That's like a soap opera.
Oh.
Yeah. Sitcoms are funny. Like sitcoms funny. So like Parks and Rec, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Seinfeld, Friends.
I hate sitcoms.
Seinfeld's
shows.
funny. Or I mean not Seinfeld. Friends is funny. But so I like, dude. So I said I've watched The Office probably like 30 times through. And when I was in the hospital, I watched it chronologically one entire time through and a half. And I made my mom, because she couldn't go anywhere. She was stuck with me because I was such
Your poor mom.
Dude, you know, there's a light to my car accident it caused my mom to watch The Office. So I mean, you gotta find the wins where you can.
Crazy.
So yeah, no, I love sitcoms. I mean, here's the thing: is like, for example, like the show Superstore. It really Superstore is like as if you gave a camera crew to people that work at Walmart. Dude, there's so many funny stores where it's like all the funny stuff that happens at a department store. Like, dude, can you like? I could name 1,000 times I've walked into Walmart and seen some funny stuff and just been like,
Yeah.
dude, what the hell did I just see? Like, and here's the thing is like, you really get both of those with the animated shows, but you get a little more of that unrealistic fictional humor with it.
Yeah.
With a sitcom, it's pretty much as real as you get. Like, okay, I think I might have talked about this last episode or 2 episodes ago,
Oh,
but they have a Muppets. They only have 1 season, which sucks because I really liked it. But they had a Muppets sitcom that was structured like Parks and Rec, The Office, and it is so good, dude. And it sucks that it's gone. And it's, I mean, here's the thing is, I don't think it's making a comeback because it only filmed 1 season in 2017. But it was so good. I will never, like, I wish we had more, honestly. So yeah, we're actually gonna have Cello come up here. So now with this, with having Cello up here, the name might sound familiar. So you're gonna talk literally like this into it, like you're gonna put it in your mouth almost. Oh man. So Cello actually recommended one of my favorite topics I think we ever had on the podcast. Cello gave us the question, which do we like more, which we'd like to see more of, ocean exploration or deep sea exploration? And I mean, that was such a good question. So this is Cello the Dumb. It was pretty smart for Cello the Dumb.
Pretty dumb.
But Cello, which do you like more, the animated adult shows or sitcoms, and why?
I'm going to go with animated, mainly because of the fact that, I mean, first of all, the jokes are just, they're always hilarious. Second of all, you can do so much with animated over.
There's really no
a
limit except for your
sitcom, yeah.
imagination.
I mean, have you ever watched Disenchantment?
That's the people who made Futurama. I have not seen it yet. But
Futurama's a really good one too. Yep.
so it was made by the same people. It looks really good. I've seen bits and clips. You know, okay. You know what's very topical right now is Smiling Friends, dude. There's not a person I don't know that hasn't enjoyed at least one episode of Smiling Friends.
I have not watched Smiling Friends. I'm gonna have to watch it.
Dude, you have to check. Each episode's like 10, 15 minutes. You've never seen Smiling Friends? Okay, you're gonna come over this week and we're gonna watch Smiling Friends. No. You've never seen a show that's so relatable. It mixes parts of the sitcom humor with the unrealisticness of it. It's so funny. So we're going to do that. We're going to do a review of our 2. We're going to watch the whole series through, and we're each going to pick a favorite episode and talk about why we like it, I think, one episode.
I would also suggest watching Mr. Pickles. I believe it's on HBO
Mr.
Max.
Pickles. That's the one with the little girl and the dog, right?
Yes. It is a very messed up show, but it is freaking hilarious.
So what's probably the first animated adult show you remember watching? Because I remember, honestly, like, my parents were pretty cool. They didn't really it didn't really affect them that much. Like they were pretty chill. They let me watch Family Guy sometimes.
Yeah,
Sometimes it depended on the week. If I was in trouble, I wasn't allowed to watch it.
So it was, I can't remember. It was one of the 3: Family Guy, Archer, or
Ooh.
Futurama.
Archer's good because Archer's the same voice actor as Bob's Burgers.
Yep.
It's funny. I think they do like an episode like that.
Yeah, honestly, I can't remember which one it was, but it was one of the 3, and that explains why Futurama is one of my favorites.
But yeah, so what makes you like? So you kind of gave it an example, but like, what overall would you go home and you're gonna sit down and watch an animated show over a sitcom? What draws you to it?
The effects. You can, like I said, you can do so many different things with animated that, like, in Disenchantment, there's a demon that his name's Lucy,
Yeah.
and he literally ends up in hell. There's an elf that fucking freaking dies.
Okay,
And-
you've seen it. That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah, he dies. He goes to hell. And
Well, I
then
hope
ends
this
up
doesn't
getting
spoil
revived.
anything. I hope this isn't a spoiler alert.
It takes a while for you to get to it. So.
Okay, so yeah, it's a spoiler. Well, Cello, thank you so much for coming up here. We appreciate it.
Hello, we love you.
Cello, you're always full of good info. We might have to credit you as a writer eventually on this show.
I doubt it. You don't want me right.
Lauren, our next topic, which do you like better, syrups or puree?
Without a
flavoring
doubt,
your tea.
it's puree because I think that's like the closest you can get to the actual thing. To me, like syrups are very artificial, and it's hard to find one without like a lot of sugar within it. Whereas like purees, it's more of like natural flavoring.
if I'm not mistaken, I think the Equinox has puree in it, right?
Yeah.
So that's where it, like, you know, kind of differs. I'm more of a syrups person because I do have that consistency issue where like it just is not for me. So with syrups,
So you don't like the kind of texture?
dude,
or...
if I can taste the graininess of the fruit and
Oh,
stuff. So Rory actually, you guys know him. Rory's been on 3 times. He is one of our. He right now is our most reoccurring character here on the show. Rory has actually made us a drink, so we're gonna call Rory up here, and Rory's gonna come explain. He has a special fall drink that uses syrups. So come on up, Rory.
Okay. Could you tell us a bit about your fall drink?
Yeah, so actually, I've been rushing the recipe, so I just thought of it yesterday. We're gonna call it the Borealis.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, so Nocturne
sick.
is more of a space-themed sort of bar, and it's definitely a winter drink. So I thought, you know, what's a cool winter sort of space thing?
Yeah.
Or Borealis. So
No, that's
Borealis.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, quite a few things. It's going to be a sort of mulled cider with a little bit of an Asian twist.
Ooh.
Mostly all spices. It's going to be cinnamon, nutmeg. Oh yeah, it's a very tasty drink. Cinnamon, nutmeg, cardamom, cloves, and Szechuan
Oh,
peppercorn.
that does. It sounds very like herbal and fallish.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Well, what-
it smells
it-
so good. It smells like cinnamon. It smells like Christmas time or the fall when you get the cinnamon brooms that you put in your home.
Oh yeah.
This is like taking me back. But also, it smells a little pumpkin-ish.
Yeah.
It smells like a pumpkin muffin.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't got that yet, so that is definitely, you know.
Have really messed up.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
That's
Yeah.
really good.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Honestly, I could drink this all day.
I don't know how to really describe it. It's like all the best fall flavors
Yeah, and it's
in one.
It's funny that,
It tastes like a memory.
yeah, it's funny that you guys say that because this is
Wow.
2 different recipes put together. One of them being
Really?
is my family generational sort of mulled cider that we make. Wassail, if you guys are familiar with that. we
No,
make
I'm not. What
wassail.
is that?
It's a Northern European mulled cider. Sort of the
Okay.
same ingredients. You throw it in a crock pot for like 4 to 6
No,
hours.
I'm impressed. Like,
Yeah.
that's fall in a drink.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a very nostalgic recipe for
Yeah.
me. My mother used to make this, you know, come November, October sort of area. So I said, you know what, and sort of in her memory, I'd make this.
To be honest with you,
Yeah.
out of all the mocktails I've been trying here, this is top.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mikey.
Wow. I mean,
I
dude,
would say that's like number 2 in my
I mean,
ranking
here's
out
the
of all
thing:
the
is like I really
mocktails.
like my Mikey drink, but this is a drink for a whole different kind of mood. Like, here's
Yeah.
the thing: is I could drink my drink, like the Mikey drink, anytime. This makes me want to get in bed and just like
This makes
watch a
me
movie,
want to
dude.
go like sit by a
Dude,
fire.
I feel like literally I don't know how to explain it, but like I just got like a really warm feeling on my body. It might also be that you're sitting next to me, but
Yeah. So going
it's
more
just like a
towards-
very calming taste. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Going more towards the topic, it was what, syrups versus purees. I've been a mixologist and a bartender for about 5 or 6 years now, and a cava tender for about 3 or 4.
Oh wow.
So, what I hate the most, I hate is a strong word, but what I dislike the most is syrup. I think it's a cheap sort of sugary
Yeah.
feel. I don't really like it too
Beverage,
much.
I'd much rather it be mixed with real fruit juices or I don't know, just anything other than syrup and like those sweet flavors.
Yeah, the processed sort of taste with any sort of flavor, whether it be spices or herbal fruits.
When you're feeling the effects of kratom and it's like a puree, it just feels more natural. You don't feel like ugh. When
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like when I drink kratom and then I'm like feeling good, but it's with syrup, I just feel like a little not disgusting, but the amount of sugar that's in the drink is sick.
Oh yeah.
Whereas like a
definitely.
puree drink with kratom, I don't. So I can actually enjoy the feeling without having like an upset stomach.
Oh yeah, and we offer this both unsweet and sweet. I made it for both crowds because I know a lot of our patrons enjoy, you know, just sort of the raw taste. Oh, no, so this is going to be the sweet one. So basically, I brew it, the spices with the leaf, everything,
Okay.
and then I post brewing, I add just enough sugar to balance everything out. Still tastes like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's not really like sweet, but you can tell like there's
It's perfectly
just a
balanced,
tiny,
if you ask
yeah.
me. It smells amazing. Like, you can smell the cinnamon, but it isn't, like, too powerful. Because I feel like a lot of people go wrong by adding way too much cinnamon into
Oh,
drinks.
yeah. This is test batch number 6. It's been a very long process.
No,
trying to
I
get
love this.
drink
I think
going
that's
now.
honestly perfect.
I really don't see much more you could improve on. I
Yeah.
mean, seriously, like there's only been a few things in my life where like it's been drinks or foods where it just really takes me back to a memory. But like I just feel like it's really like it's like almost emotional. Like that's a really good drink. Like
Sound crazy until you drink it.
Guys, I'm saying come down to Nocturne Teas here in Palm Bay. You got to come check it out. Ask for Rory. Have him make your drink. This is, I mean, this
It's
is
fall in a
this
drink.
is something that like deserves to be like seasonal in the sense that I feel like whenever we're given a drink that we can have all the time, it makes it less special. This is something
Yeah.
I look forward to coming back and
Yeah,
having
this is something
every
that
year.
brings back nostalgic memories and smells and tastes.
Well, Rory, once again, you're breaking records here on the podcast. You're the most brought up person, best tasting drink, best to talk to. So
Yeah.
we really appreciate you
It's
coming up
always
here
a
and talking,
pleasure
dude.
having you up here.
Don't worry, there's more recipes to come. This is just the beginning. We'll have advertisements going out, I don't know, maybe Wednesday, Thursday morning, something like
Yeah.
that. It's been a rush process, but we're going to get the word out there, definitely on social media.
One of the best mixologists ever.
Well, thank you, Rory. We appreciate it, buddy. So the final question for the This or That segment is, which do we like better, concerts or festivals?
Oh, that's so hard. So honestly, festivals are great to me because you can see so many bands you really love all in one place.
Because the way I see a concert is one person you don't know opening, one opener you don't know, one opener you do know, and then the main event.
So I would say
You get about an hour and a half of your main event and about 30 minutes each of the openers.
Honestly, it comes down to the venue for me, but I'd say I call them shows. Like the House of Blues,
Yeah.
for instance, I wouldn't call a concert, I call a show.
Yeah.
To me, it's more of like an intimate experience. You can be right there with the most famous
Yeah.
people and see them.
Yeah.
Like, whereas depending on like a bigger venue, you could be up in like the nosebleeds and not see them.
Personal, but with festivals, for a more value, you get more bang for your buck. So I spent a lot of money to go see 21 Pilots. The first band I ever saw was 21 Pilots. I spent probably like $200 to go see them. Floyd. There's about, at a festival, you could get anywhere from 50 to like 60 bands.
My first ever festival was Rockville this
Rockville,
year.
yeah.
And went for all 4 days. The amount of bands I saw was insane.
Yeah.
It was really great.
In some-
It was $100 a day. You can't beat that.
But Rockville really is like when some people go out to like a festival, they're going for either 1 to 4 bands, like
Yeah.
specifically, and it's like Rockville is great because I got to see some of my favorite bands. There's one up in Louisville, Kentucky, Louder Than Life.
Oh, did you end up going to that one?
So I didn't get to go this year. I was really sad. I bought the ticket. I ended up never getting to use it.
Oh.
The reason I wanted that one
What?
is
I would have flown up there and taken your ticket. I would have soloed that trip.
they had Joey Valance and Bray, one of my favorite bands, Winona Fighter. Actually, so funny enough, Winona Fighter, I saw them. They opened in Cocoa Village for Taking Back Sunday.
Wow, that's crazy.
And
it's
it
crazy
was-
that like Taking Back Sunday came to Cocoa.
Yeah,
Of
of Mice and Men,
they're so good.
Winona Fighter opened for Taking Back Sunday. Taking Back Sunday was one of my childhood favorite bands. Still is to this day one of my favorite bands.
I don't think I've seen them yet.
Dude, you have to. We'll go see them. They go to the House of Blues every now and then.
Okay,
We just miss
yeah.
them again.
Honestly, I love the House of Blues because
I love House of
like,
Blues.
I
So
can
now
get
that's what
right
makes
up to the
concerts better.
rails and like see my favorite artists and singers like in the face, like live in the flesh.
Especially
like,
House of
right
Blues.
there.
House of Blues is so intimate.
It
Because
is.
here's the thing: is with House of
Nothing
Blues,
can beat that
you either
experience.
you can be in the pit or you can be up on the stage,
Yeah.
wherever you're more comfortable, and you really can't beat it. I mean,
Yeah, I mean it's a relaxing environment. It's like they have enough air conditioning. You're not
dude,
sweating.
air
like a
conditioning in a venue
festival.
is so important.
Yeah.
So overall, the census is, depending on what your purpose for going to see somebody is, having a concert's way more personal, but a festival you get to see maybe less time of your favorite bands, but you get to see a majority of them for about the
Yeah.
same price.
Your buck.
I got to see Alice Cooper. I got to see Godsmack. I got to see Sublime. we're going to call up my bandmates. We're going to have Nick and Jacob come up here from the band NiceToMichew, and we're going to interview them. And Lauren's actually going to interview us because I am part of the band, so we're going to let Lauren head this thing. So yeah, guys, come on up. So this segment, we like to call it, it's called Inner Brews, where every single week we bring up a person or a few people that kind of make an impact in their community here in the Kava community or just in their community in general. And I feel like we've done a pretty good job of staying popular.
So if you guys want to go ahead and introduce yourselves, I'm going to make sure I have enough slack with this cord.
So you guys know me already. I'm Michew too. I'm one of the hosts here of the Breaking Brews podcast.
You've already introduced yourself.
Yeah, I'm the lead singer, rhythm guitar player, and that's pretty much I write all of our originals, do most of the editing, make the best of what we got. You know, we have been given a lot of great opportunities, but the next person, you're not gonna believe his name, but this is Nick.
Hello, my name is Nick Jonas. I play guitar, lead guitar. I'm born and raised in Florida. I mean, that's been my entire life, has been doing music, playing guitar. And then, you know, I saw an ad that Mikey posted begging for a guitar player, and then I met, you know, these guys, and then we took a little break, but it had enough longevity to get back into.
Yeah,
I'm
you.
very proud of it.
I was just saying a second ago, I've seen you guys perform. It was Kelly Slater's birthday, right? Birthday bash. You guys were phenomenal, and you were like shredding on that guitar.
I appreciate it.
You really were.
I gotta make ends meet.
So like, when did you start like picking up the guitar and learning?
Well, I gotta think. I was a singer for 9 years of my life.
Oh, wow.
I was a big choir kid, you know, robe and all. I even haven't had my own. But I want to say 7th or 8th grade, I really picked it up.
Okay.
And that's been, you know, went from the kid playing Sweet Child of Mine on repeat over and over, trying to get that down. No, yeah, it was me.
Yeah.
But I have an own crazy internal insecurity that pushes me to be, you know, the best that I can possibly be.
Well, that's a great thing, though.
Exactly.
So what do you do for fun, like outside of doing the band and playing your instruments?
That's a good one.
Like, what do you do for work or anything?
Well, right now I work like 1 day a week at Publix. I like their stock.
Nice.
It's nice. But other than that, I do a little closer. I gotcha. Right now, other than that, I do my own business. I own a business that does animal, like not rehab, but like relocation.
Nice.
So like a lot of conservation efforts.
That's awesome.
Other than that, I do a lot of animal conservation. That's one of my biggest things. I love charity work.
What was the first song you ever learned on guitar? I always think that's an interesting question to ask and hear people's responses.
Oh, you really gonna have me think on that one?
Really?
Do you remember?
Or like what's one of the first?
I remember. Do you remember Avenged Sevenfold 2000s?
Okay. Yeah.
Do you remember Backcountry? The one who used to be played on TRL and MTV?
I'm sure I've heard it.
That was one of the first songs I ever learned. Okay. I didn't make it easy on myself starting out at all.
Yeah, that's awesome though. But yeah. So go ahead and introduce yourself, your name, where you're from, what instrument you play. Yeah, your social security
there's certain
number.
things that stay private, and if you need to know, I have to kill you type of thing.
Oh, okay.
No. My name's Jake. If you look for me anywhere in the social media world, I go by Jake Reaper. How that came about, we'll dive in probably later or not at all.
Oh, okay.
It's totally up to you guys. My background is I kind of grew up I was born in New York. I kind of grew up all over the United States.
Oh, that's awesome.
Totally a military brat.
So when did you come to Florida?
It was my middle school years. I lived down in Fort Myers a little bit.
So you're a Floridian in my book.
Yeah. Adopted and moved on. I did my years of high school down here.
Oh, okay.
I went to Land O'Lakes High School,
Nice.
which is kind of my push into the musical world, really.
So what instrument did you start out on?
Second grade, I played the cello.
Really?
Yes.
That's wild.
I started with the cello, and from there on, leaving New York, moved on into some other places, and that's where I really dived into some of the other instruments I liked.
So when did you start out like picking up the drums then?
Why drums? Actually, it was between middle school and high school,
Okay.
where I got introduced to drum corps, DCI level marching and maneuvering, and that's really what
nice.
propelled me to picking up percussion, doing indoor percussion,
Yeah.
and diving into that realm. So I marched USF, Herd of Thunder in their indoor group. I marched with the Spirit of Atlanta as well as the Boston Crusaders
Wow.
to the international level of drum corps. And
Wow,
then,
that's impressive.
in between all that, had my own band that was over in Tampa. They still out there, Critical Downfall. Hope you guys are doing well. Those guys were
I'll have to
phenomenal.
check them out.
Yeah, our music was very much a
Like, what genre would you say?
like very much a Breaking Benjamin's Creed
Okay,
sound.
that's awesome. That's so sick.
It was definitely a break that I got to do. A lot of original music as well, and then took that into incorporating what I liked. So
Yeah.
when it comes to my instrumentation, especially on my drum set, it's tuned down. It's a lot pops. The bass is very, very heavy. So you hear the marching aspect of it. But then I turned that into the rudiments and the musical styles that I actually play with these guys.
I
It
like
makes it
that.
that much more interesting.
So when you're not with a band practicing their songs, what do you like to do in your free time?
Where do I spend my free time? I actually give back. I don't like to say my age, but I am the older of all of us. I'm the grandpa of the group. But no, I give back my time. I work with a youth organization
Oh, that's
called
so
the
nice.
Sea Cadets. They're right here in Brevard County, and they're actually a worldwide organization. So with me being in the military, that's my way of also being able to give back to the country and stuff like that.
That's
and to
very
the youth
nice.
of America. So. The glasses gave it away. God, I gotta change these things.
So let's get back to the question
Yeah.
earlier that I asked. So, what got you into the Navy?
The Navy. Why did I choose the Navy? It was really because I wanted to travel. I wanted to see the world, and I wanted to do it on somebody else's expense. I mean, growing up, exactly. If I could have someone else pay for me to go and actually explore the world, then why not?
Well, we appreciate your service.
No, I definitely take that into full grain of salt. Now that I've been able to do that and give it back to others,
Yeah,
that's really
that's
what it
such a
makes
beautiful
difference.
thing. How long were you in the Navy for?
11 years and counting. Actually,
Wow.
this coming Saturday is my re-enlistment. So,
Like, what's a positive thing that keeps you going after everything you've been through?
the ability to, as I said, give back. There's been, I mean, as I said, I am the grandpa of the group. So with that going on, there's so much knowledge that I have, and I've come even once I left the drum corps world, because there's a thing called aging out, that it's like I still have so much to give back.
Yeah.
I have so much that.
So you love
I
just
can-
being a mentor for those children.
Exactly.
And
It's not
that's
just the
that's so
children, it's
beautiful.
Even my sailors and
Yeah.
those that I work with. I'm actually the career counselor, so I'm in that area now that giving back to what I know and what I've learned.
That's so
is where I'm
nice.
at.
Yeah, I study cybersecurity and IT stuff, and I'm always looking for a mentor. And the ones I've found, I'm so appreciative of, because honestly, this day and age, like, I want to learn, and it's hard to find somebody who is willing to spend their time and teach you. So that's really great that
You
you're
just
a
gotta
mentor.
learn at my pace.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's so great, and I bet the kids really appreciate it, because
do.
I appreciate my mentors
They
a lot.
definitely do, and all of them I've ever talked to as they go on in life and stuff like that, I said, if you ever need a recommendation letter or something of that nature,
That's really great.
I'm more than happy to put those things out
Yeah.
there for them and see them strive in life as well.
First off, I just want to say, like, honestly, I couldn't ask for a greater group of guys to be working with, because each one of them puts in a lot of effort, especially, like, lately Nick has really just kind of stepped up to take control of a lot of stuff while I've been busy with my own business, especially today. He's been making phone calls. Anytime somebody needs to get in contact with the band, it's his number that they're calling. And, I mean, seriously, like, today, there's somebody we're going to be working with soon that a lot of you guys know. I'm not going to spoil the surprise, but coming
I
soon
wanna
to
know. Okay.
on
Yeah,
top
I'm
of that,
excited to see you guys again.
yeah, no,
Yeah, I
we're gonna
loved
be
your
getting back into it.
performance that I
Also,
saw.
I mean, seriously, really couldn't be here without Jake. Jake is literally the beat is the heart of everything that we do, because I wouldn't be able to keep the tempo myself. As the stereotype goes, white people don't have rhythm. So, yeah. So if we didn't have him, man, it's so funny. There's a guy. So you guys have heard my new song, Father Figure. There's a guy who sings it, and he sings it so wrong, like out of timing. He goes, I need a father figure. I really need. I'm like, no, that's not it.
That would be me. That would literally be me singing.
So it's just so funny because it's so off. But
So how'd you get started singing? Like, when did you start singing and picking up instruments?
so I didn't start playing guitar until about a little over a year ago.
Wow, really? I'm impressed.
Here's the thing: is I played the ukulele growing up. My grandpa was
Okay.
so weird about guitars, like it almost felt like it was being shoved down my throat. So I just wasn't so attached to it. But later down the road, I kind of appreciated what he taught me.
Yeah.
And after my car accident, so I was always a singer. I grew up from singers. My dad's a singer,
Okay.
and my mom's a singer. She used to do cruise lines.
It runs in the family.
Yeah,
That's
it really
awesome.
does. My sister's super talented. My sister Rachel, she writes music. She plays piano. She sounds like a professional. Like,
Wait, where does your sister live? How come I've never met your sister?
well, fun fact. I have a lot of siblings. So she's actually the one that. Well, technically, she lives closest to where my house is. She lives here in Melbourne. She lives over the causeway. But no. So it wasn't until I got into my car accident that I really that I got really passionate about my music. I was kind of almost discouraged not to do it if it wasn't for my school specifically. And there were a lot of people that did encourage me outside of it that I'll never like take for granted. But it wasn't until I had my car accident where like obviously I didn't die. I came back to life. There was a reason for me to be here, and like not like in a prideful way, but like obviously I have a much bigger purpose than the crap I was doing before.
Yeah.
Like I was very like there were things I was really happy to be involved with. Like I was involved with a lot of youth programs, and that was something that I'm really like glad that I had to experience. But you know, there was also things where like I really didn't. Each day I didn't have set goals, but once I got in my accident and I was
Yeah.
able, like,
No,
I had to set goals to start walking again, start
when
eating
I
things.
hear people who have been in an accident, their whole entire perspective, typically after that accident happens, completely changes.
So I've always been a happy-go-lucky guy, but really where my perspective changed wasn't really in a traditional way. I really did just start doing what I wanted to do, what I was passionate about. I told myself that because before my accident, I worked almost three full-time jobs. I worked two full-time jobs and a part-time job, as well as I worked with two different youth programs and went to middle schools to like talk with younger students about, you know, ironically talk to them about what they were going to do with their future. But now I put my happiness first, and that's one thing I can recommend to anybody is never, like, here's the thing is some people have to work jobs to pay the bills. Like everybody has to do it sometime in their life. But you still need, no matter what, your happiness comes first, because if you're mentally not there, you are not going to be able to survive. You're just naturally going to be sick. You're going to not want to go into work. If you set a time, like I do events all week long, that is my happy place. Like, I work during the day, or I mean, really at this point, it's like I'm working at night and then having my happiness
You
time
have
during
to
the
have
day.
that one thing you're excited for that just keeps you going. I think
So
everybody needs
that's
that.
my word of wisdom to give to you guys is if you guys you guys cannot sacrifice your happiness for your job. Like, I'm sorry to say it, like it might seem almost insensitive, but like there are millions of jobs in this country, and sometimes we have to work crappy jobs to make ends meet. But your happiness, you need to have a hobby. Like, even if you might be like an introvert where you don't like to go out, just pick up reading, something, writing or something like that. Like,
I feel like no matter what, if you're an extrovert or introvert, you always have that one thing you love and enjoy.
since talking about the words of wisdom, I'm going to go through and let each one of them kind of give a word of wisdom, because I kind of like that, just because not only as being like podcast hosts, we're like we build a connection with people in the community through this. Like, people that are musicians, we talk about it almost every episode, how music is so important to mental health.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be particularly about music, but what's a mantra you might live by that keeps you going throughout the day? What advice would you give to people? And this is 1,000 different kinds of people. It's not one person.
I found that very interesting. You talked about mental health and music, because you guys have a lot more interesting stories than I do when it comes about music. But that's one of the biggest things in music that I've noticed is that when you really enjoy music and you're very passionate in that, that can affect your mental health a lot.
Yeah.
I know that being a singer for a lot of the time, there's a lot your voice is your instrument, and if your body can't function, you know what I'm talking about, especially that if you can't function, you know, you can't
Yeah,
do
it's
that. And
definitely a
that,
different outlet
Exactly.
to express yourself.
and like when you sing and you do a show, you can't go and party. You have to, you know, soak. There's
Yeah.
a level of discipline that comes along with that. And you know, we had talked, and you know, one thing that you know we took a little, I was like hiatus. What would you say? Like we took a break for a while, and you know, getting back in, I had a whole music crisis, 100%. And luckily, you know, my girlfriend had got me through all that, which is great. But you know, one of the biggest things is that learning that, you know, things aren't going to work out, but everything falls the way it does. You know, I sold a bunch of guitars, I did a bunch of things, but I don't regret it. I'll never
Yeah.
regret it because I'm at where I'm at now, and that's what.
Yeah. I strongly believe everything happens for a
100%.
reason.
I fully agree with
Yeah,
that.
that's my life motto.
Come here, Grandpa. What do you have to say?
Back in my day, no. I have to say, like, for myself, and because of all the things I've gone through, the life that I've lived, it's definitely to take every moment that comes. In the world of music, especially, as we all, if you're in the musical realm, know that the arts is becoming a, if you will, a dying breed.
Yeah.
In the school system where it was pushed and how helpful it is, and that in the school system nowadays it's like an elective to take and it's not as important. And I
Yeah.
feel like that's something that is a wide commodity because it helps in so many different areas.
Yeah, and you may not even know till you try it. I remember I went to a private school for 8 years of my life, and when
I'm so sorry.
it's okay. I was in my own little bubble. But when we got into middle school, each year we were forced to play like a new instrument. So it was really great because I remembered a lot of people, it was their first time picking up a guitar or ukulele, and now I see them now and like they're fully into it.
I definitely have to say, like, these guys are talking about vocals. I mean, I don't feel like I'm a vocalist, but I speak through my instrumentation.
Yeah.
The fact that I'm not just a drummer. I have played cello, I play saxophone, I play trombone, I play trumpet. I have all these multiple instruments that I have the ability to play, and that's what I sing through. So
And it's really healthy too. It's really great for your mind.
yeah, I mean, if I broke my hand, then I'm done for. That I lost my
Yeah.
vocal ability at that point. So that's my mantra that I go by. Hey, take every moment that comes by, and don't regret a move that you choose to make, because it's definitely
Yeah.
something that's going to be
Don't take the little things for granted.
exactly.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much.
Hey, whether or not Jake wants to admit it, whenever we do My Own Worst Enemy, he really do be getting them vocals back there, though. Woo! Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for being here. We really
It was great to have
appreciate
you
it.
on. Thank you.
So, yeah, we got Nick, Jonas, and we got Jacob. We got Michew. That is 3/4 of the band. We do have some really good news coming here soon. So if you guys want to stay tuned, I mean, we share the Instagram with the podcast and the band. So you guys are following it. Nice to meet you. It's always
What
fun.
a great group of people.
Dude, I know.
honestly.
Like, here's the thing: is like I really am blessed with the guys that I have because seriously, if Nick really like is so passionate like about it as he is now, I mean, I'll never have a better group of guys. Oh, excuse me, I'll never have a better group of guys. Like they encourage me. They're really supportive of all the original music that we write. We're gonna start focusing being more on original band. One thing that we didn't really get to talk about is like our genre. Honestly, so it kind of sounds crazy. I kind of discovered I think we talked about it last episode, or I might have talked about it. I talked about it last night for sure. I remember talking to a bunch of people. I would consider our genre, it's called self-development, and it's a lot of the music in the originals I write is to kind of encourage people to focus on their mental health, but it also is something that everybody can relate to. Like, I don't try and target one general group of people, and the reason why I'm calling it self-developmental music is I gain a lot of encouragement. I gain a lot of encouragement from Jack Johnson. My favorite album by Jack Johnson, or just in general, that's not just by Jack Johnson, is this Curious George album. If you go and listen to some of those songs, like, yeah, there are some kid-centered songs, but like, especially for like me, where like I'm writing my music out in public, where I get a lot of inspiration is from People Watching, and he has a song called People Watching, and it's a really good song. He has a song called Talk of the Town. He has Upside Down. He has so many great songs, and I mean, here's the thing: is every single person, no matter what, whether you're into heavy metal, you're into rock, you're into reggae, you have heard Jack Johnson's music. Like he's just been so incremental to a lot of people, even not just people our age, but I mean, I know people that were grown-ass adults, like in their like 30s, that when the Curious George album came out, they legit have that. They bought that CD and listened to it, and music is just so important. And I'm really glad that I was able to, because we're a multi-genre self-developmental band. So that's kind of how I describe it. So, yeah, that's our band. I'm really glad that we get to have them up here today.
Yeah.
Kind of make the best of a situation that we were in.
It was great to get to know each member.
Yeah. So we're going to get into our last segment. We're going to keep it short and simple today, guys. This is our segment. It's always the last round, round 3. This is the Breaking Barriers segment where we break down, we open up. We welcome you guys into our homes and our lives outside of the podcast in general. And we just talk about things that, that we're passionate about, and things that we feel like we could do to either better ourselves or just connect better with everybody.
So I'll go ahead and ask you the next question. What's your favorite fast food franchise?
My favorite fast food franchise. So there's a difference now. Some people consider fast food like even some sit-down restaurants where it's like Chili's or Texas Roadhouse. I'm saying those are quick service dining options. Those are quick service restaurants. Fast food is different than quick service dining.
You're driving your car through.
So there's a drive-through. So if I had to pick, it's probably going to be either Zaxby's.
I do like some Zaxby's.
Zaxby's or oh gosh, there's one that's in Georgia, and I go there all the time. It's not Raising Cane's, but Raising Cane's is good.
The Castle place?
No, I don't really care for White Castle too much. I think their merch is cool, and I like the niche of it. It has a really weird name. It has a really long, weird name. Bojangles. Okay, Bojangles slaps. I want to shout out Nate and Abby for getting me onto Bojangles, because whenever I lived in Orlando.
What is the smokehouse? The smokehouse one? It's like it's prominent up north. Yes. It has like burgers, I think.
Yes, they do, and they also sell ribs. They sell brisket, smoke. It's whatever that one is. I'm gonna put it down here below whenever I look it up in post editing.
But is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. So
okay.
I love those, because here's the thing: is a fast food place where here's the thing is just because fast food, like especially with Chipotle, I don't particularly like Chipotle, but we talked about Chipotle. Chipotle is a much healthier alternative. Like obviously, as time's gone on, they've gotten a lot more unhealthy because most fast food, their job is to cut corners.
The majority of food we eat here in America is all processed, and it all has certain components within it that makes it all unhealthy.
The reason I like Zaxby's is they do offer some healthy, like have salads. Like you can get a regular salad at Zaxby's, but they have really good wings. They have really good chicken. Their chicken sandwiches to die for. Like honestly, even better than Chick-fil-A, I will say to this day.
Yeah, honestly, I was going to say Chick-fil-A, but then you brought up Zaxby's.
Zaxby's chicken sandwiches slap. You know why?
Zaxby's is pretty good.
Zaxby's slaps because I'm pretty sure they marinate their chicken in salt water for 24 hours or something like that. So it's very salty.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say they don't like Zaxby's because it's a little too salty.
But I love it. I love salt. I'm going to call back on the white guy cliche. I love salt. I don't have rhythm. I like salt as my seasoning.
Honestly, Chick-fil-A's an always like great fast food choice for me. Have you had their kale salad yet?
So due to my consistency controversy, I probably wouldn't eat it because it's that slimy consistency of kale.
I wouldn't say it's slimy though. Like theirs doesn't like.
Here's the thing: is if it's dry, like I'll eat.
It's not dry either. It's like honestly kind of perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be down to try a bite of it. If like next time we do an episode.
I love how we managed to sneak food into this podcast.
Listen, I cannot wait for the day that we do a cook-off episode.
Yeah. I can hardly cook, so cooking lessons with Mikey.
So you're saying Chick-fil-A is probably your favorite, or what would your favorite fast food be?
I would say it has to be Chick-fil-A. I feel like it's been for many years just a go-to.
I feel with fast food, I mean, each place kind of has something that slaps.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to say...
They're each known for like at least one or two items.
The best bacon cheeseburger, I would say, is honestly, best fast food. And again, we're talking about like McDonald's, Wendy's, Chick-fil-A. The best burger I've had is probably, I would say, either the bacon quarter pounder from McDonald's, which I know is very controversial, but they use real meat with that. Like, I mean, they're using real meat for the chicken, or for the Big Macs, but you're getting the bare minimum
You're getting
for
like
it.
a lower quality grade chicken for sure.
It's either that, and I'm gonna give kind of a weird answer. Whenever Arby's, I hate Arby's. I
I've
think
never
Arby's.
had
I think Arby's is honestly next to Burger King is the worst fast food franchise of
Really?
them all. Like, but here's the thing: is whenever Good Burger opened or had their sequel come out, the way that they made their burgers, they were really good patties. It was fresh meat, because I will give Arby's kind of a benefit. Most of their meat is pretty fresh, like it's pretty straight up. But their burger, have you heard of a Turbo Chef? Like, so that's what Subway uses to toast their breads and their. Well, not,
wait, is it like where they just throw
yeah,
it through?
it's like a big convention oven, but
Okay.
or not big, it's
Yeah.
small. Well, they put the burger in there, so it soaks up the juices, and you're not pressing out the juices of the
That's
burger. That's
nice.
what a lot of fast food restaurants do. Actually, I'm gonna go back on my answer. I'm gonna say Smash Burger. Smash Burger has the best burger. Whenever I was in New York City, I went to the Smash Burger. I was there for a month and a half. I probably had Smash Burger 14 times.
Really?
They're really
so
good.
I've never been to an actual Smash Burger, but there's a Smash Burger place out in Orlando, like downtown Orlando, called Poppy Smash.
Yes.
They put like plantains. I got like some tropical burger. It was amazing. Like plantains, just weird stuff was on it, like pineapple, but it was really, really good.
Yeah. What else? Sometimes, okay, Burger King is absolutely garbage. I don't want a sponsorship from Burger King, so
Yeah.
I'll say what I'm thinking. Burger King is garbage, but I have had some pretty banger onion rings from. Here's the thing: is when I was a kid, I would only go to
had
Burger King.
like 2 or 3 times in
Yeah.
my life.
Checkers has. Oh, sorry. Checkers
okay.
has the best fries. Zaxby's
They
has the
do.
best chicken sandwich.
I like their bread, their toast.
Chick-fil-A has the best sides, I would say. They have really good sides.
They do.
Arby's, their burger, top notch. Wendy's, their chicken nuggets. I like their chicken nuggets, the best out of any chicken
They've
nugget.
always been known for their Frosty and chicken nuggets.
Ooh, their Frosties are good, but they don't do vanilla Frosties anymore, so I don't care. I don't
What?
like.
They don't do vanilla?
No, so the chocolate's way more popular, and then instead of having vanilla, they just do seasonal. Like right now, they have the McDonald's.
No, what? I don't eat chocolate. What am I ever gonna do?
Yeah, I know. They have right now. They have a wild berry Frosty for or
That
mango
sounds good.
pineapple. I think maybe
Ooh,
for the
mango
SpongeBob.
pineapple.
I'll check it out and I'll put it in the
We should
description.
do a taste test for that.
I'd
I
do it.
heard it wasn't
I'd do
worth
it.
though.
Here's the thing: is the burger I heard wasn't great, but I heard the drinks were really good.
Yeah,
They also have a Sprite. They have a special Sprite. I think it's like pineapple something.
that's interesting.
But we're gonna go on to our last topic. We're gonna get out of here, get out of you guys' hair.
yeah,
The last topic is gonna be, what is your favorite city to visit?
that's a hard one. But honestly, when I went to go visit Fred, I think
Chicago?
Chicago. It was either I think it was in September or August, something like that. Honestly, it was such a beautiful city, and like I know a lot of people are
I think
like,
you're the first person ever saying that.
no, I thought it was. I've been to New York. New York, when I went, was nice, but that was like 5 years ago. But when I went to Chicago, it was like their public transit, like their trains were super nice. You could get to point A to point B for and even travel like an hour into the city.
Yeah.
We did one day. The city was super clean and nice.
I will say Chicago has really it has made a 180 from like whenever I was young.
Yeah, because people.
Chicago is really nice. It's still a little bit dangerous, but it's much safer than it
And
used
I like
to be.
how
would
it gives
say.
off kind of the Miami vibes with the water
does. It
flowing
really
through
does.
the city. And honestly, they had great food, great activities to go and do as far as shows and events and cool breweries. I don't know. It was honestly endless. I was there for about a week and a half, and I didn't want to leave.
Whenever I was when I was in middle school going into high school, we went to Chicago, and it's funny because my mom took a picture of me. I genuinely thought there was an ocean because
Oh my
the lake, and I told my mom, I was like, bro, what? How? All right, no one told me that there was an ocean in Chicago. So my mom posted that on Facebook. It was really funny. It was
Yeah, but what I think I liked the most about it were there were so many people there that were our age. Like,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
we
No,
see,
Chicago's
we
growing.
see quite a few people our age in like Florida, but honestly, the majority of our population is older. So when I went to a city like that, and like I hardly saw any people like
yeah.
50 up,
I
and it was just like very refreshing to be around so many people my own age.
I think I talked about Chicago on the podcast. I won't say it's one of my favorite. I won't say it's my favorite city. It is one of my top, like in my top 5. I'm not gonna. I always do this when we have to choose one or the other. I always give a couple answers. I was gonna say New York City, like Manhattan. I love Manhattan.
It's endless.
But
You can do so many things there.
Pittsburgh, and I'm a little biased because it is like where like my family's from, where I'm from. But here's the thing: I'm gonna give reasons why it's my favorite. So now, the cool thing about Pittsburgh is you have if you can't find a lifestyle to live in Pittsburgh, you have no life. So one cool thing about Pittsburgh I always say is the way you enter into the city of Pittsburgh, there's no other city in the world you enter in a more beautiful way.
Really?
So you enter through the tunnel.
I think you
the
told
Washington
me about
Tunnel.
this.
Yeah. So what it is I'm gonna see. I've never done this for a podcast, but I'm gonna see if I can find a video of somebody driving. You drive through a mile-long tunnel.
I'd be interested to see a video as well.
And you drive through a mile-long tunnel, and on one side of the mountain, when you go in, it's just this hillbilly, mountainous forest everywhere, oil and coal. Wow, I almost started talking with an accent. I almost said oil. This one thing is whenever I go home and I ever come back, if we do an episode in Pittsburgh, I'm gonna have an accent. But you go through the mountain, and you come out to the largest city in comparison. It's surrounded by a big lake. It's surrounded by the Allegheny River, and it's just gorgeous. Like it's seriously, there's no way to describe the feeling you get when you see that. And on top of that, it has the most bridges in the world. I think that's the record it holds. I think it has something like over 1,000 bridges inside the city. And the city was built on steel, so they have an industrial district. They have a urban area. They have Mount Washington, where it's the more like, I don't know, old school living.
That honestly sounds amazing. It sounds like a city within like so much beautiful surroundings.
And the one thing that I will give credit to Pittsburgh is Pittsburgh is where Carnegie Mellon, like the Ivy League school, is. If you're driving through Pittsburgh, you're driving through skyscrapers, and then you eventually end up on a cobblestone road in the middle of almost like Manhattan, and you see these giant iron steel gates and this castle, and it's a giant college campus. It looks like you're seeing Hogwarts.
I'm gonna have to look up videos. This sounds
amazing.
Insane.
But then you also have the industrial district where the Heinz factory is. But then it being Carnegie Mellon, that's actually where I got my car accident, and I spent all my time. This is why I also have another love for it. Is the government, and the government promotes healthy living and healthy lifestyles. So you've heard of like the city bikes or Lyft, like the scooters, the bird scooters. The city government pays 75% of what it costs to rent those. So whenever you want to use them and you want to bike around to promote healthy living, you spend about $2 an hour compared to where if you rented a bird scooter in Orlando, you'd probably spend $15 an hour.
Like a city cares for their people.
And the hospital is what pays for it. The city does. I mean, what other city is actively promoting healthy lifestyles like that? It's such a big city. Like,
and a healthy
it's amazing.
life and like being active.
They have some of the best sports stadiums, and all those.
Increase your
all
longevity.
Those, it's amazing.
Yeah,
That's
so
why
important.
I love a city, like a big city like that, where you feel like you're in like a big city that gives back like that. I mean, honestly, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, that's special.
They have their priorities in check, and they took really good care of me up in the hospital. I was there, and seriously, I have such a love for that city, and it was like, here's the thing is, I didn't feel the same way whenever I was younger. I took it for granted, and I just thought, the hustle and bustle of Manhattan. When I was 8 years old, I wanted to go there for my 8th birthday, and so I got to go, and I thought it was the greatest thing in the world. But once I became an adult and saw really like a city like that gives back, I'll never change my mind. Well, guys, I want to give a big shout out. We do have another sponsor this week. It's the same sponsor as last week's episode. I want to give a big shout out to Big Dog Kombucha. They are going to be a proud sponsor here of the Breaking Brews podcast here at Nocturne.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
Dude, we love it. I mean, last week, I think that was some of the best drinks I've had. And here's the thing is, like, they're not telling me. I get the freedom to say what I want. I actively last night before my show to help my throat out before I performed. I drank a strawberry yopon and a botanical beer before I went on stage, and seriously, it made my show. I probably would have only lasted about an hour. I ended up going about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and I literally it wasn't gonna happen unless I have my tea or my botanical beer, the strawberry yopon. So Big Dog, seriously, I mean you have. I mean even swiped up on my story on it. Big Dog swiped up on my story and was like, "Thank you so much." And he didn't ask me to do that, but like, I will promote things that I stand by. Same thing with kava bars. and products that I use daily, like I stand by. I'm not going to promote something I don't believe in. Like
Same here.
again, like I said, I'm not in this for the money, and I'm not in it for what we get out of it, other than the exposure that we have towards people. So
And
I
feel
only
like
promote the things that I really
I'm
am passionate
extremely
about.
honest as well, and I don't want people to go out and spend their
Yeah,
money
and-
on
yeah,
something
dude,
that
if
isn't that
I'm
great.
not gonna ask you guys to go get something that I won't spend money on myself.
And I wouldn't drink it myself and spend my own money on it. I
Very
would
well
not-
put.
yeah,
Very well
I
put.
would
So
not.
thank you so much, Big Dog Kombucha. You guys can check them out at your local kava bar. I'm sure they have it there. One thing that's really big and exciting is we're going to be one of the first people to actually tour their new facility
Oh, I'm
that's opening up.
excited.
They're going from a 2,500 square foot facility or less. I can't remember the exact number. They're going to a 7,500 square foot facility, dude.
Wow.
Like, I
That's
mean,
amazing.
that's about 3 of these, like 3 nocturnes, and they're gonna have a canning line, so they can start streamlining it. That way, you can get it at your Publix. Yeah, so thank you so much, Big Dog. We really appreciate you, especially directly Big Dog himself. I mean, I still haven't posted up the video, but we're gonna be getting it. It's just there's so much that he said during our interview that like I was cutting out so much. I was like, and I erased everything and I started from scratch because he really like, bro loves his product. Like some people promote their product because they have to. He promotes it because he's passionate about it. So thank
Yeah.
you, Big Dog Kombucha. Thank you, Nocturne Teas, for having us. Thank you,
Yeah,
Rory,
thank
for
you
letting us
guys.
try your new drink. Seriously, that is like we haven't touched it yet, but I'm probably gonna down that as soon as we get off camera.